The night a stranger laughed at my body in a room full of chandeliers, my husband set down his champagne, crossed a sea of sequins, and picked up a microphone no one was using. 3 moves, that's all it took to tell the truth out loud. And if I only gave you that ending, you'd miss the miles that made it matter. Before the tuxes and the step and repeat backdrops, Grant was a guy in beat-up sneakers writing code in a rented storefront that rattled every time the trains screamed by. I brought bad coffee, better jokes, and the kind of faith you don't put on a vision board. He'd say, "You know, this might all blow up right." And I'd grin, "Then we'll sweep, order tacos, and try again in the morning." That was us broke but stubborn laughing at a smoke alarm that would not shut up while we ate boxed mac and cheese on the floor. I didn't love him because he was impressive. I loved him because he noticed everything. The janitor's new haircut, the way winter air near the river smelled like metal, how I chewed my straw when I was trying not to say something unkind. Then Harbor Grid went public, the world learned to pronounce our last name, and I got pregnant with our third. It wasn't cute, it was IVs, bed rest, and a nurse with a ringtone that could snap me in half because it sounded like a hallway at 3 a.m. I watched my body turn into a battleground. I didn't sign up for. I gained weight. I kept weight. I also kept a fierce, healthy daughter, so no, I don't apologize, but the city I live in worships disappearing. And once you step back into rooms built on image, people treat your body like a group project. They want credit for fixing it. The whispers started soft and sticky. Did she let herself go? Poor thing, she was so striking. Never to my face, always over crystal, and under breath men added, "I'm just being honest," like that erases cruelty, and I began breaking promises to myself, avoiding mirrors before events, faking headaches, to dodge fittings, scrolling late at night, hunting for a version of me from 5 years ago that I couldn't download anymore. Grant noticed and didn't press. He'd shrug his tux jacket over my shoulders and say, "You're the reason I get through rooms like this," then make me laugh with, "If shapewear were a startup, we would have funded it by now. It helped until it didn't." At a lunch where the butter had a monogram, an investor leaned in with a smile that felt like a paper cut. Presentation is half the game. The wives are your brand, maybe think about. Polishing, he made a little circle with his fork, like he was buffing a car. I stared at my potato and swallowed a volcano. Grant set his fork down. "Keep your game, I'll keep my family," he said, calm like a closing bell. We drove home in that charged quiet you can feel in your teeth, I finally asked. "Does it bother you?" He killed the engine and said, "What scares me is that you almost believed him. I didn't know whether to cry or kiss him, so I did both." Then came the Evergreen Ball, Chicago's charity night, where everyone hopes the silent auction can heal the world. The dress I ordered didn't fit the backup. Needed a backup, seamstress. Our daughter ran off with my lipstick. The babysitter was late in the mirror. I saw a woman holding her breath, so I exhaled on purpose and stood up straight. Grant walked in, stopped like he'd hit a wall. "There you are," he said. "You look like the part of a storm that smells like rain, not a compliment people use," I told him. "Then they should," he said, and we left for the Lake of Light. Cameras popped. The carpet swallowed our footsteps. The chairwoman air-kissed my cheek without touching skin and told me she admired my courage to wear color like I'd rescued a stray and named it Emerald. I smiled. I always smile. And then it happened. A woman in a silver column dress drifted close. The type who never carries her own purse. She looked me over like a couch. She might not want, turned to her friends and said, not quite a whisper. I heard she was stunning before the babies. Now she looks comfortable. The chuckle that followed was polite and ugly, at the same time comfortable. I tasted copper. There are words that slice you not because they're sharp, but because they pretend to be soft. I stared at the ice in my glass and thought if I start crying here, I will drown. Pain needs a place to go. My mind rummaged through old drawers. Midnight feedings, blood draws, the nurse's steady hand. Our boys sleeping at my hips like they were docking at home, my daughter's first gummy laugh. Loving a man with the whole muscle of my life. And then I remembered. I never asked anyone for permission to exist. Grant's jaw set. He squeezed my hand once, a little code, then let go. I thought he'd steer me toward air. But he walked to the stage instead. No one was at the podium. The band was mid-swing. He lifted the mic, and the first trumpet note died. 100 heads turned like birds. He didn't tap the mic or clear his throat. He spoke the way he talks when he's making coffee. I want to say something quick. I could have melted into the carpet. I could have sprinted. I did neither. I stood there in green and let the night do what it was about to do. I expected a joke to diffuse the moment. He didn't joke. Some of you know me from earnings calls. You probably think you know what matters to me. Here's the real thing. He angled the mic toward me, not dramatic, just human. This is Ray before you met me in a tux. She met me in a hoodie that smelled like code and cheap pizza before Harbor Grid had a lobby. Our electric bill was a cliff. When investors called back, we high-fived because we were starving, and it felt like food. Through all of that, she kept me upright. Some of you know what it costs to carry a child. Our third cost more than weight. If your body has been a battleground, you don't need me to explain it if it hasn't hear me. The price lives in scars. You can't spot from across a ballroom, he breathed. Looked right at the silver dress, smiled gently. I'm not mad at anyone for forgetting what love looks like up close. I forget things every day, but I will not sign the lie that the woman who built my life with me should shrink to fit your idea of my brand. My brand is getting my people home. It's bedtime songs I still mix up. It's a hand on my back when the doubt starts. So if you're wondering how I walk in here, it's with Ray. If you're wondering why I'm saying this in public, it's because the insult was public and the correction should match. The room didn't flip. At once it wobbled. Someone set down a glass too hard. A woman near me started crying like she'd been holding her breath for 10 years. Grant kept going. This isn't a defense of her beauty, though. I could do that all night. It's a defense of her right to exist at her own size in rooms we paid for with years you didn't see. Then he turned and found me with his eyes. Ray, if you want to leave, we leave. If you want to dance, we dance. If you want pie on the way home, we're getting 2 slices. I laughed, unladylike, and exactly right. The band leader did nothing. God bless him, silence opened like a door. Then the applause came, hesitant, rolling on its feet. Grant put the mic down like it was a hot pan and walked off stage to find me. He didn't bow, didn't look for points. He just wrapped an arm around my waist, like I belonged there because I did. You want to go? He whispered. Not yet, I said. I want them to see me, not just hear you. One speech doesn't rearrange a city, but it rearranged me. The video found the internet. I braced for the worst. Instead, I got messages from grocery store parking lots and office elevators. Thank you for saying what my husband never knew how to. You know what I mean? I listened at a red light and I'm crying. Did it have theater in it? Sure, gowns a stage, but I know the difference between a brand play and a man choosing truth in his normal voice companies, called with smoothies and leggings and community ideas. I said no to most because I'm not an ad. I said yes to a nonprofit that greeted me with a glass of water. And you don't owe me your pain on demand. Tell only what you want. Our kids handled it like kids, one said. I was famous at recess. One asked if fame meant more snacks. Our daughter hugged my neck so tight I could hear her breathing. That was the only metric that counted. Months later, another gala, different ballroom, same choreography. Fear tried to crawl back up my spine like a draft. Grant tipped my chin. You owe them nothing. Noodles or gala, your call. I went, because I wanted to see if the ground still held inside. I saw women who had DM'd me from red lights, men touching their wives' backs with a new tenderness. Cynics, too, always trained to aim for soft places. I walked past. Not bulletproof, just done. Carrying their homework halfway through. The silver dress, woman approached, formal and stiff. I was unkind, she said. I expected to feel triumphant. Mostly, I felt tired. You don't owe me a press conference, I told her. Just try not to be a mirror for someone else's worst fear. She nodded like she was taking notes on a language she'd just learned. We didn't become friends, that's fine. The win wasn't moral superiority, it was air in my lungs. Here's the part that might split the room, and I want you to wrestle with it, should he have needed to say anything at all. Does a woman's worth really land better when a man with a mic spells it out? Gallant or performative? Private loyalty or public accountability? If you were him, would you have grabbed the mic or squeezed my hand and taken me home? Yeah. That happened. I have my answer. I don't need you to share it, but I want to hear yours. If this hit a nerve, hit, like so. The algorithm puts it in front of somebody who needs it. Drop a comment and tell me where you draw the line between honesty and cruelty. Preference and prejudice, style and shame. Tell me what you were mocked for and what you survived anyway, or push back if you think I'm getting it wrong. Let's argue with care, and if you've ever judged someone from across a room, say that out loud too. Then tell me what made you change.